It all starts with a conversation. And even as Hawaii's inaugural Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month comes to an end today, it doesn't mean that the need for important conversations about the mental health and wellness of our Hawaii people ends, especially when it comes to our youth. To help guide us through this conversation is Amanda Martinez. She's the Training Program Manager at Health America of Hawai'i. Mahalo for joining us, sis.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Now, we often hear the stories of bullying and some of the terrible consequences of it. So I'm so grateful that there's actually an organization that is helping our youth to help themselves and then to turn around and support their friends who are struggling. So can you share some of the training that you share with the Keiki and with teens?
Yeah, absolutely. So our youth suicide and bullying prevention training was developed by Health America of Hawai'i to address both of those things and really empower our youth to learn more information about how to help each other. And so in that training, we really encourage people to listen, ask, and to tell.
Listen, ask, tell. Walk us through those.
Yeah, so listening is really important. It's a great skill to have to support ourselves and other people. So we want to listen with our entire bodies. We listen with our ears to the things that people are saying or maybe what they're not saying. Sometimes we have to read in between the lines a little bit. We listen with our eyes. We're being observant. Is my friend acting differently than normal? Are they starting to pull away or withdraw? Does it seem like they have a lot on their mind? And we also want to listen with our hearts and with our stomachs too. And I know it may not be a very scientific thing for me to say, but
I love that you're saying that because in Hawaii, that is our na'au. That is often where we think from. Yes.
Yeah, and so if something that someone says or does just doesn't quite sit right, gives you that bad feeling, listen to that because that instinct could be there for a reason. So then we ask questions, right? We check in like, how are you? Is there anything you need to talk about? Hey, I noticed you haven't quite been yourself recently. Is everything okay? It's a great way to start the conversation, even if it's awkward. It could be uncomfortable, right, to talk about our mental health, but you're showing your friend that, you care enough to check in and to ask, right, despite the awkwardness. And then if it is someone we are concerned about possibly having thoughts of suicide, we also have to ask directly about those, like, are you having thoughts of suicide? Asking the question, doesn't put the thought in anyone's head. I know that's a myth we sometimes think and believe and spread around, but it actually provides a sense of relief for the other person to know that
somebody's willing to listen to me.
Exactly, right? And then if that answer is yes, then we have to tell someone. Safety should always be our priority. So this is not the kind of secret we should be keeping. If we have someone coming up to us, opening up, especially talking about possibly having thoughts of suicide, and they say don't tell anyone else, the way that I look at least is that I would rather have my friend be angry and upset with me, but alive and okay and getting the help that they need. Than to have something possibly happen and for me to look back and think, why didn't I say something? Yeah.
That is such incredible information and important information when you're talking peer to peer. But is there something that you folks can share to help adults? Because I know sometimes there's that gap, right? Where, you ask your teen, how are you? Good. How's your day? Fine. You need anything? No. That kind of thing. What can adults do outside of the listen, ask, tell?
Yeah, well, I was going to say the strategies are very similar, right? The listen, ask, tell. But other things would be, I always say to act your age.
Your age.
Yeah, so beyond acting how old we are, but be accepting, be genuine, be empathetic. If you're genuine in your care and your concern, that shows, right? And we never want to force a youth or young person to open up and talk. If they're not ready to, that actually shuts down the connection, right? And makes someone not want to open up. But if we can let someone know that I am someone you can come to and talk to about these things, right, is really helpful in building that trust, and then also asking that important question about suicide. If we're noticing those warning signs, if we don't ask, then we don't know, and if we don't know, how are we supposed to try to help?
We're gonna have to be a little bit of brave, in that moment. Are there great resources that Health America of Hawai'i has for our families that they can tap into?
Oh, absolutely. There's quite a few resources actually. Locally, we have Hawaii Cares, which is local crisis line. We also have 988. Through Mental Health America of Hawai'i, we have a Finding Help directory, free online screenings, and plenty other trainings that are free to the community that people can take.
I love that, Amanda. You actually see a lot of your resources right here on your screen. So go ahead and make note of this. And just a very big mahalo to Amanda Martinez, who is our training program manager at Mental Health America of Hawai'i. We appreciate you for being here. No shame. Get help. Let's make 988 as important as 911 because both numbers can save lives.